SGC here, and we're back for a movie review.
你真的是你杀的？全是他杀的，不是我杀的，就是你杀的，不是我杀的，就是你杀的。
Detective Chinatown. It's a 2015 Chinese comedy mystery buddy film, and it's directed by Chen Sicheng, and it stars Wang Baoqiang and Liu Haoran. And everyone else, check down below. It was released on December 31st of 2015, so it's like a New Year film, which is kind of weird, releasing a film on the last day of the year. And there's a sequel titled Detective Chinatown 2, and that was released in February of last year. And right now, it is currently the third highest grossing film of all time in China. So I'm definitely gonna watch it just for that, because we gotta know what the Chinese like. Anyways, so yeah, it's directed by that guy, Chen Sicheng, and apparently he, let's see, some background, he's known for the hit TV series Beijing Love Story and its film sequel, and yeah, and the Detective Chinatown stuff, and I think that's it. He hasn't directed anything prior to that, so this is his debut film, and it clearly shows. So what's this film about? Well, it stars Liu playing a reject of the police college who goes to Bangkok to visit his uncle, played by Wang. And Wang is supposedly the greatest #1 detective of Chinatown in Bangkok. But then when Liu shows up, it's shown that Wang actually is the lead suspect of a murder robbery case. And they do their thing to solve this mystery. And that's the entire film. So what did I think? Well, first off, I give props to any director who directs their own work or writes their own film. So, and also a bigger plus is that this is his debut film. So props on that. I think there's a solid film here, and it takes a while to get there, really, in terms of actually thinking about the logistics of what's going on. So I'm just gonna lay down some goodness and talk about what I wish happened. So first off, I like the characters here. There's a great ensemble of different personalities, different foils, and all that stuff. Liu and Wang plays opposites. Liu is a kid who watches a lot of Sherlock Holmes, and they actually just recreate the whole little bits and pieces here to be like, he is over there. I figured it out because of all this detail that you, all normal people, missed. And Wang is just like, he wants to be that, but he doesn't. He just swindles people instead. And hey, I rescued your dog or found your lost dog, but let me just, it's not your dog. I just painted this dog to look like your dog. So give me the money, please. Have that type of character. And it's okay. And I think we have also the two cops who are like head to head trying to get the deputy chief position, so that's where a lot of the humor comes from, and they're a personality as well. We have this dude who's a cowboy, a lot of cowboy stuff, like costume, and then we have the other local Chinese cop who's trying to just rise up in the ranks, and he just looks kind of lazy. So there's a lot of characters happening, and then we have the three thugs, and then we have the commissioner or police chief, and lots of people. So I think they managed that. And also there's a woman in here, the love interest of Wang. So there's that. So there's a lot of people happening. I wish there was more. Wait, I'll go back to that later. So in terms of the scope, it's fine. It's a very solid sort of case, like introduce sort of the new world of like, fresh off the boat, never been to Thailand, oh my goodness. And then discovering something happens, and it's much more interesting than what you planned it was gonna be. And there's that. And then there's like the whole buddy of them like hating each other and then slowly becoming nice and then hating each other and then being nice again. There's that trope that's also done. And even like the action sequences are pretty. Like there's this shootout scene in the hospital that was pretty in terms of just the cinematography of the lighting and just how he staged and blocked it. So I really did enjoy that. And also like the lots of Bangkok scenes, so that's pretty great too, for them to actually go to Bangkok and film a lot of outdoorsy outdoor scenes, and there's like this car chase scene. There's a lot of things happening, so props on that. So yeah, I think the story itself, the mystery itself, when things are actually rolling rather than sort of like just trailing and lagging to build sort of some character and humor, beyond that, it's a good, like, solid mystery of it, like who done it type of thing. And yeah, so there's that. You gotta think about a lot of things to be like, this movie was good. So why was this movie hard to see that it's good? First off, it's a 2-hour and 15-minute film. I definitely felt that there was so much fat on this that you can have chopped it all up and send it off and made half another movie. If this movie was an hour and 30 or an hour 45, things would have been much more quick and to the point. But this is where there's problems, because this is a comedy film, and I feel that watching more and more comedy films from the mainland is that they have a type of comedy that I'm not very particular to, and that is situational comedy that goes on for too long. I'm okay with situational comedy, don't get me wrong, I enjoy it much more than just doing pop culture or just crude jokes or stuff like that. Situational comedy is gold. And I think with mainland comedy, it works, but it goes on for too long. Like, there's one sequence where they're in the hospital and they're getting chased by the cops, and they go to one entrance and there's cops coming and they run off, and then there's cops coming again and again and again and again and again and again. And I was like, dude, like, I get it. It's they're trapped. Or another sequence where they're in a room and everyone's hiding in a spot and one person kicks out and he pretends to be one of the brothers. And then they do the whole sequence of that again. And it's like, oh, this brother, you haven't told me about him. Hey, he's my second brother. And it's just like, ooh, just, man. So I think the biggest issue for me was the time. I think they tried too long to just drag. Everything became draggy and I wasn't convinced or invested in these characters to care what happened. So it took me a long time to finish this. And I would just watch a bit, get bored, switch to something else. I mean, I wish I sat through the whole 2:15 in one go, but I just couldn't. And you just feel disconnected with the characters, but at times they were good. I was like, ah, man, I sort of wish I saw this scene earlier, so I feel like more connections happening. But nope, that is not the case. And when things happen, it's good. I think it's a solid writing in terms of just characters and dialogue and the shots overall. So it's just too bad that he dragged it out for too long. I did check the timestamp on Detective Chinatown 2, and I think it's like 20 minutes shorter. So hopefully that is why it made so much more money. I don't know. Maybe it's just the return of the duel that people went to see this. But overall, I think the time and the repetition of the jokes was its downfall for me. I felt if it was an hour and a half, it would have been very more smooth. And another thing, I really liked how they brought in the Thai police, and there's a lot of Thai going on. I mean, it's in Bangkok, so props on not having people speak English or Mandarin. Like, I always appreciate it when they bring in like local dialogue into movies and people just understand, and I'm fine with that. And there's subtitles. But the one thing was that it made the Thai police so inferior. And it's just like all these Chinese people being like the good cops, and we can do this. But the Thai just like really was just, they were literally just extras. I mean, they were, but at the same time, it's like that image of the police force was so pathetic. Like, granted, it's led by 2 police cops, but at the same time, it still feels pretty pathetic. And also, there's no other female, there's no actress beyond the love interests, and I sort of wish there was, just to get more things going on. Oh, actually there is. There's that little girl that gets involved in the case later, and I think her acting was kind of lackluster, and it was, but I don't know, just young actress, I guess. So I sort of wish there was more of like a part of the group type of thing. Imagine, I know there is a Detective Chinatown 3, so if they bring in like a female character with the duel, I think that would be pretty fun too. And another thing is that there was no Thai actors in the main cast, so I sort of wish there was. Just the fact that they're in Bangkok, like to get someone that's actually Thai, just who knew how to speak Mandarin, or at least, I don't know, just just was more of a character than just a cutout. So there's that. And also, yeah, speaking of the young girl who gets involved in all this, that was... It was fine. But where the narrative went near the end was just like, nope, didn't need that at all. And it's just one of those, like, you know, blindsided, came out of nowhere. I didn't need that to have a good ending. Like, you gave a very good sort of explanation of the case, and you solved it, and that's all you need. But then something comes out of nowhere, and I hate those storylines where it's just like, well, you could have told me it was anyone else, like, and I would have just have nodded, and it's not a good time. Anyways, that's it. Detective Chinatown in the bag, and yeah, it's a long one, so definitely there's that. If you like Wang, I think I've seen him in 2 movies, Special ID and Iceman, and he's okay. I don't remember his voice being like this, so I wonder if it's like a thing that he does. Oh, and also, I think Lost in Thailand is him too. Yeah, with all that said, it is what it is. It is the 3rd highest grossing film, like franchise wise, so that's pretty, like, that says something. People watched it a lot. So I'm definitely going to watch the second one and come back with a review on that. And with all that said, like, watch, and subscribe. And that is it for this movie review on Detective Chinatown. Out.